Judy's been taking classes like forever, but has been sticking mostly virtual. So it feels so good to see you in person in the studio. And we've got Marianne who's joining us virtually today. So good to know that you're there, Marianne. So to the matter at hand, we're together for 90 minutes of Journey into Power. This week at the studio and with 40 days, the theme is centering. And so I think all of us have some sense, at least conceptually, of what it means to each one of us to be centered. Like you have an idea of what that would look like or what that might feel like in your body. But it's kind of like I find like a fuzzy thing to really kind of get a grip around. Like, when am I centered? What does that actually look like, feel like, and all that kind of stuff. And one of the cool things that I discover with practicing, and I'm sure that you've probably gotten this too, and that's why you're here, is that some of these things that seem so conceptual become something that we can actually practice while we're on the mat. And for me, centering and the way in which to practice centering has like building up an actual skill around it is creating a really clear felt sense of your spine and where your spine is as you move through the postures. So as like your physical center line of your body, getting present to and getting curious about what does it feel like to be in touch with my spine the whole time as I go from pose to pose to pose. So I'll open that up to you as we go through the practice today to just get present to and curious about, from your tailbone all the way up to the base of your skull, what is or is not happening as you go through each pose. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Nothing to know about it at this point, because you're going to go through your practice, and we'll start with child's pose. Bring your big toes together, open your knees up wide. Find a good position for your hands, so you could stretch them forward. You can bend your elbows. You might stack your hands under your head. And then right away, take a big, big breath in and a full breath out. And as you continue to breathe like that, big, full breaths in and out, the intention here is just to get present. Get present to the feel of the floor under your hands, under your legs. And to get relaxed through your whole body as much as possible. Your face, your forehead, your tongue, the backs of your eyes. And then take one more big full breath in here. Blow all the air out. And then lift up to all fours. So from all fours, you'll set up your foundation. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Check that your hands, your index fingers, you'll look down and see that your index fingers point forward. So your hands will actually turn out a little bit to the left and the right. And so as you have your hands, have them at the top of your mat. And that might mean you're not stacked anymore. That's okay. Press your fingertips down. So look at your hands and walk them to the top of your mat, that top edge. Yeah. Now check your index fingers. Like the real life of your index finger, look at it, is each one pointing straight ahead, your index fingers. And then once you have that, are all the rest of your fingers evenly spreading away from your index finger? So from like the second finger, the third finger, the baby finger, are they all out even? Now press your hands down, tuck your toes into the mat, roll your sitting bones up, and press your seat back to downward facing dog. Keep your hands right where they're at. Continue to breathe deep, and then just get related to your body right here in this space. So you might bend a knee, wag your tail. You can even play with taking your feet further back or closer forward. Nice. And as you play around, feel into your relationship with the floor today. And you're aligning with the floor and gravity in such a way that you're creating this long extension throughout your spine. So you kind of give up that there's some right way to do it. Put your attention on your spine line. And then create your extremities, your arms and your legs, to support a long, strong spine. So for a lot of you, bend your knees more. Roll your tail up and feel for your lower back, your lumbar, to move down into the center of your body. And as your lower back sinks into the center of your body, take a breath in. With the exhale, melt your upper back down towards your heart. Yeah. Now keep your spine in, press down through your hands, and stretch back through the sides of your body to send your hips as far back as you can, right there. So it took something to center your spine line. And now you're having an experience. Some things feel better, some things feel more challenging. Can you breathe right there for 2 more? Take 1 more breath in, blow all the air out. Now look at your hands and step up to the top of your mat. Feet hip width distance, halfway lift. So create that spine, your long spine here. Play with your feet a little bit. Toes can turn out a touch, toes can turn in. So you kind of start at the 12 o'clock line where both feet are parallel, and then play with, if I go out a little bit, what happens? If I go in a little bit, what happens? I find I have to turn my toes out a little bit. My knees tend to track in, which puts pressure on my low back. So if I turn my toes out just a little bit and my knees contract my ankles, I can feel the back of my spine start to open up. So kind of feel what feels true for you. Good. Now hands to your shins. So rather than leaning, bring your hands to the front of your shins and press. Good. Strong. Really flat palms, press to your shins. Shins push forward, hands press back. Press your seat towards the back of the room and stretch your head towards the front of the room. Like you're going to press the top of your head to the front. Take 2 more breaths. Keep softening your spine down and in towards your body. So this spine softens down. Yes. Take 1 more breath. Keegan and everybody. And then fold. Ragdoll pose. Keep your eyes open. You might sway side to side. Get loose. Get free. Get clear about this time, this incredible sacred time on your mat to explore and discover your body. And then take 1 more breath in. At the center, blow all the air out. Press down through your feet. And on the inhale, come rolling up to stand. At the top, stretch up. Hold it right here and breathe. Hold right here. And then as you set your eyes, could be forward, could be up, feel your feet and press them down. Press the center of each heel, press the big toe mat of each foot down into the floor. Soften your knees and neutralize your pelvis. So front of the pelvis up, tailbone up. Find where your pelvis feels like it's floating. Your low back feels free, the front of your belly feels free. Now draw your front ribs to float right over the top of your pelvis. So for most of you, your front ribs will pull back. Beautiful. Now press your feet down. Lift up through the sides of your body. Stretch all the way up to your fingertips. Pull your upper back forward towards your heart. Take 2 more breaths there. Can you open up every joint along your spine? So bone lifting above bone. Take 1 more breath in. Lift up as high as you can. And then bring your hands to heart center. Samastitihi. 3 ohms. Take a breath in. Press down through your feet, stretch all the way up. Front ribs in, reach high, stretch. And then exhale, bend your knees, fold. Fold deep, drop your head all the way down to the earth, let your head hang. And then inhale, lift halfway up. Press your seat back, the top of your head forward, get long. And then plant your palms, step back, high plank, and hold it. High plank. And so within your high plank, open your feet up, hip width distance apart. Good. Get strong through your hands and your feet. Strong connection to earth. Firm up your legs. And now press the top of your head forward. So that even in this position, from your tail to your crown, you have that long line. So like Greg and everyone, pull your chin up towards your throat right there. So from your crown to your tail, get long. Heels back, crown forward. Take a deep breath in, stretch your heart forward more, and then bend your elbows, low push-up. Inhale through upward facing dog, pin your shoulders back, downward facing dog, press it back. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. 2 more breaths. Plug your hands down and in, plug your big toe mounds down and into the earth. Good. Now take your last inhale. Blow all the air out, bend your knees, and move your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway up, long spine, and exhale, fold. Drop your head. Press down through your feet, reach up. Extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift up. High to low push up. So a strong spine. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together and breathe out together. 2 more breaths. Let your mid-back drop in. That's it right there. And then take 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Reach up, lift the pit of your belly in and up. Forward fold. Lift halfway up, grow long, low push up. So keep it as you go back if you can. Upward facing dog, good, Missy. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Put your attention on your spine. Move your body, your feet, your knees, your hands, adjust so you create a strong, straight, central spine. Breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Fold deep. Press down, reach up. Take a big breath in. Fingers alive. Fold. Halfway lift up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths, 1 more. Sun salutation A. Good. 2 more breaths. Good, Charlie. That's it. 1 more breath in. Empty completely. Feet up to your hands. Lift halfway up. And fold. Extended mountain pose. Reach up. Front ribs in. Side body's long. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. See if you can keep it as you go back. Good. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Good. Lift the base of your skull up. So chin towards your throat. Good. Base of your skull up. And then feel that your chest stretches forward towards the back of your hands as your tailbone stretches up and back towards the wall behind you. Good. Take a big breath in. Blow all the air out. Step or float, feet to hands. Lift halfway and fold. Chair pose. Bend your knees. Sit your hips way back. Breathe here, breathe here, breathe here. Good. Chair pose. Take your hands forward a couple inches. Some of you, yeah. So take this whole thing off. Hands come forward and create your long spine here. So this puts a lot on your spine to stay neutral and your pelvis to stay neutral. Come forward a little bit. Draw your front ribs in and now sit back. Sit into your leg strength. Pull your belly muscles to your spine. Now, if your arms can go higher and you keep your spine, great. If they need to stay forward, perfect. Take 2 more breaths there. Lachlan, roll your seat back. Really push. That's it. Take 1 more breath in and fold. Really good. Yeah, lift halfway up. Low push up. It takes something, right? Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward, warrior 1. And it's funny because sometimes the more we can hide in more, right? We can hide in this, and actually getting here and getting centered is a whole fire that's a completely different story. So take the lunge, that lets your pelvis be neutral. So some of you, that'll be up a little higher. Some of you might have the deeper lunge. Feel for where that's right in your body. And now create your spine as lifting up and out of your pelvis. Yeah. Hands can be forward a little bit. Even try that, Tara, just a little bit. Yes. Now lift up to the top of your head. Really get all that lift and space through your whole spine. Take one more breath in. Press up through the top of your head. Hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Free up your spine. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, warrior one. Yeah, and so trust that process. Hands forward a little bit. Draw your front ribs in towards center. So this part of your body, soften it back a bit. And as the back of your ribs puff, now lift up and out of your pelvis. That's it. Now breathe right there. Breathe into all that space that you're creating. That's it. Lower and everyone, take one more breath in. Hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths. 2 more. Just feel how you can breathe now. That's what you're creating. 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Move your feet up to your hands. Lift halfway up and fold. Chair pose. Sit deep, reach high, forward fold. Halfway lift up, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. From your tail to your crown, lift up, grow tall, belly in. Good. Hands to the floor, low push up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot, warrior one. Ground deep from your pelvis, grow tall, low push up. Good. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 2 more. Last breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Sit way back. Forward fold. Halfway lift up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. From your tail to your crown, lift up, chin in, crown high, reach up, hands to the floor, low push up. So watch where you collapse. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left foot, warrior one. Lift up, front, back, left, right, all the way up through your spine, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, 1 more Sunday. Be so vigilant about your spine that you can feel when like one joint along your spine starts to collapse down and in. Pull your belly muscles up and into support. Yes. Last breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift and fold. Chair pose. Hips way back. Forward fold. Halfway lift up. Press your seat back and your head forward. Low push up. Good. Upward facing dog. Downward dog. Right side, warrior one. Eke out 1 more inch of length through your spine. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Left side. So for the full inhale, lift up. The bottom of your spine, the top of your spine, the top of your head. Stay lift up. Hands to the floor. Low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, blow all the air out. Bring your big toes together at the back of your mat. Lift your right leg up and back. Good. Bend your top knee to your top butt cheek, and then open your right hip up high. So what you'll find right away probably is the left side of your spine collapses. Right. So press down through your hands and pull the left wall of your abdomen up against your spine. So your front rib on the left side, this whole area comes into support. Yeah? Now, lengthen both sides and turn your top hip up and open. That's it. So you got a whole new spot you're going to start reaching into. Take 2 more breaths right in that spot. Take 1 more breath in, get long. Now flip dog. As you flip, lengthen both sides of your waist. Stretch your chest to the front of the room. So sternum, like your breastbone, stretch that right up towards the front. Your head might be up, your head might drop back. That's up to you. Take 1 more breath in, and then flip back. High plank, side plank, heels to the right, left hand high. Check in on the right side of your body, which will again probably collapse or shorten. Good. Stretch your bottom armpit and your bottom rib forward. Yep, but keep your hips high. There you go. So all this stays long. From right armpit to right hip, breathe. Breathe in the pose. 1 more breath in. Hands to the floor, low push-up. Oh, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Blow the air out. Really good, really good. Bring your big toes together. Lift your left leg high. Bend your left knee and open your left hip. So notice how easy it is to just fall open, right? So you kind of get the motion, but there's probably not a lot happening in your body as far as vitality or space. And so here's where the yogi comes in, and you begin to shift what feels easy into what feels easeful by getting centered. Press your hands down into the floor. Pull your right belly wall up, into your body. Now lengthen both sides. Hug your right hip crease back. So keep your right hip crease deep. Now see if you can take that hip higher. Good. Take 1 more breath in, and then flip dog, go. Stay long across both sides of your body. Reach through your top arm. So feel how as you open up through your fingers, you continue to stretch the left and the right side. Take 1 more breath in, and then flip back. High plank, side plank, heels go to the left, right arm to the high. Stay long on both sides of your body. And as you do that, take your top hip towards the wall you can see and hug your bottom hip towards the wall behind you. Really good, Tara. Take 1 more breath in, hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Big breath in, clear all the air out. Step your right foot to your right thumb, crescent lunge. Oh, aren't you happy to have the heat back? So good. So as soon as you come up to your crescent, take your hands to your pelvis. And as you go for your pelvis, look for the points on the front, your ASISs on the front. Find that with your middle finger, and then wrap your thumbs around the back. You might be able to get to like the dimples on the back of your hips. I can't, my hands and my hips don't work that way. But if you can reach back there, cool. So once you've got your pelvis, start tipping forward and back. You're going to have to bend your back knee, most of you, to get your pelvis to move this way. So it's like what you do in the club. How many of us are clubbing nowadays? Not me. Yeah, so move a little bit. And kind of feel when you go forward, go too far forward. So I'll feel that like my hip kind of jams up and this doesn't feel good. And then when you go too far back, that doesn't feel good. You feel like your low back kind of crunch. Find the happy Goldilocks middle, where it kind of feels like your pelvis is floating between your hip joint and your lower back. Now, as soon as you have that point, bring your hands to the top of your shoulders. Let me get back here so everyone can see me. Okay, so you've got your pelvis set up. Lift your spine straight up out of your pelvis, but relax your shoulders. Now, right here, take a breath in, and on the exhale, keep your pelvis where he or she is, and twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Do that 2 more times. Press your front heel down. Press your back big toe mound down. 1 more time, come back to center. And then open to the right and hold it. So you're not going to be able to leverage. You're not pushing off your legs or anything. This is purely tapping into your abdominal strength. Press your front heel down deep. Lift the front of your pelvis up to your navel. Take one more breath in. Stay for the breath out. See if you can twist a little further. Come back to center and then open right up to warrior two. You'll spin your back heel down. Bend your front knee. Hands back to your hips. So for most of us, our hips are not going to point perfectly to this wall. So check your ASIS. It's probably that your right hip is a little bit back and your left hip's a little more forward. That's okay. So you kind of keep your hips like that. Go longer, a lot of you. Go long, go long, go long. Cool. So your hips are perfect where they're at. Now create your spine coming up and out of your pelvis the way that it's oriented now. And so notice, is the right and the left side, are they both equally long? Is the front and the back equally lifted? Pull the pit of your belly in and up and lift the front of your spine up. Good. Stretch your arms long. Take a deep breath in. Side angle, right forearm to your right thigh. Left arm towards the ceiling. If you can make it to the floor with your hand, perfect. And in your exploration as you do that, keep the right side of your body long. Yes. Take 3 breaths. 2 more. 1 more breath in. 2 hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. A big inhale. Clear with the exhale. Step your left foot to your left thumb. Crescent lunge. So back heel up. Yep. Bend your back knee. And then start to move your pelvis. Tuck and untuck. So discover, even if you think you kind of know, I tend to do that. Like, I know where my pelvis goes. Be willing to discover, because each day truly is different. Some days my low back is tighter and I don't have as much, it's not the same position for my pelvis on that day. So feel for where your low back feels happy, your right hip joint feels happy, and then your hips are square towards the front. Yeah, so like right hip point is up level with the left. Now hands to your shoulder tops. Lift the pit of your belly in and up, the sides of your body in and up, and lift the back of your ribs up and away from your pelvis. So all this lifts. Yes. Take a breath in, and now exhale, twist to the left. Beautiful. Come back to center. Get a breath, lift up, and exhale, twist to the left. Good. 2 more times like that. Be good. 1 more breath in, twist to the left, and hold it. Take 4 breaths. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Yep. Lift the back of your ribs up and off the back of your pelvis. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for the out. Inhale back to center and then open all the way up to 2. Really good. Stretch your pelvis. Wherever your pelvis ends is perfect, or ends up. And then lift the front of your spine, the back of your spine, the sides of your spine straight up out of your pelvis. That's it. Press your front heel down. Open your left knee towards your left baby toe. Your pelvis might go with you a little bit. That's okay. Breathe. Good, Neil. Take 1 more breath in. Create space. Now tilt. Extended side angle. Forearm to thigh, fingertips to block, fingertips to the floor. Get long along the left side of your body. Sorry, I scratched you. Take 2 more breaths. Keep curving your bottom belly wall in. So this space starts to open. The left side of your spine, open that. Yep. Take 1 more breath in. Hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog, roll your shoulders back. Downward facing dog, press back. Take a big breath in. Blow all the air out, look forward, step or jump, feet up to your hands. Lift halfway and fold. Chair pose. All right, so if you discovered your hands do well a little bit forward, take your hands a little bit forward. Open your fingers up and plug your upper arm bones, that's it, onto your upper back. Now sit your hips back. Stretch your pubic bone back between your 2 thighs and sitting bones towards the back of the room. Yes. Take a breath in. Hands to heart center, twist to the right side. As you take the twist, check back in on your hips and settle them back deep more. Check on your side ribs and pull them evenly away from your pelvis. Now 2 more breaths. From your tail to your crown, get long. 1 more breath in. Stay for the full breath out. Chair pose, keep the deep seat, and fold, gorilla pose. Grab your big toes for this one. So big toes, fingers to toes, I should say, pose. Open your feet up wide. Go wide. Bend your knees a lot. And then drop your upper body down. Yeah. So from the base of your pelvis down to your crown, can you have this experience of like a waterfall coming off of a cliff? Just allow your spine to pour out from the bowl of your pelvis. You can shake your head around. You could sway your upper body. Take a breath in, blow the air out, and then release, chair pose. Take 3 breaths to settle your hips back. And I see a lot of you right away moving your arms down a little bit. Good. Front ribs in, pubic bone back. Take a breath. Hands to heart, hinge, and twist to the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Take a breath in. Stay for the out. And 5. Chair pose. Sit back, reach high, and fold. Gorilla pose. Step onto your feet, or step onto your hands. Bend your knees a lot. Let your spine go. Let your head go. And there'll be these points in the practice where the challenge is like a more fiery one, of like calling muscles in and waking muscles up. And then there's these parts in the practice, which many of you are probably encountering now, where it's actually the letting go. There's just a new level of letting go that becomes available. Drop your head all the way down, all the way. All the way. Let your head go. Every thread of your muscles in your neck, every single one, let your head go. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Let your eye muscles relax, let your jaw muscles relax, let your whole face, your throat, your neck relax. Good. Take a breath in. Blow all the air out. Relax again. And then step off your hands. Crow pose at the top of your mat. Good. 5. Hands shoulder width distance. So lower, go a little bit wider. Yeah. 4. And then index fingers forward. So there's kind of like this turnout. That's it. 3. Now grip your fingertips into the floor, into the mat. 2. Take a big breath in. And 1 feet to the back of your mat. Upward facing dog, roll your shoulders back. Downward facing dog, press back. Take a big breath in. Blow all the air out. Look at your hands, step or float top of the mat. Lift halfway up, long spine. Be rigorous about your spine being long, even here, and fold. Press down through your feet, come all the way up. Extended mountain pose, reach high. Eagle pose on the right side. Feet together, bend your right knee up and over your left, and your right arm under your left. Now find the right height for your elbows where you can pull your shoulders back towards your upper back. So for some, you'll go higher. For some, you'll go a little lower. And as your upper arm bones pull back, sink your upper back forward towards your heart. And keep pulling this part in towards your heart. Yes. And step down, reach high, take a breath in. Left side eagle pose. Wrap in tight. Wrap into the center line of your body. Hug all the way into your center line. Shoulders back towards your upper back, thigh bones back into the center of your pelvis. And then from your center, press down and lift up. Take a breath in, blow it out, step down, reach high, right side eagle pose, go. There are many times we find ourselves in situations that feels like our hands are tied. You often hear that term, my hands are tied. And yet there's this ability to create space and freedom in your center in those situations where it feels like your hands are tied. Feel that now. Wrap in tight, hug into yourself. And then at your spine, draw your spine in towards your center, low back in, upper back in, go the other way. So tail back a little bit, good. Upper back in a little bit more. And now from your spine line, create lift. Take one more breath and step down. Left side eagle pose, yeah. Left side eagle pose. So in the 40 days, we've been layering things on. First, you got present. Then you got vital. You got the energy that you need to do this. Then you did equanimity, where you realize like shit gets real when shit gets vital. So how do I stay when things really start to kick up? Now you get restored. There's that restoration that occurs when you're able to stay when things start to kick. Now comes centering. So in that position where you can stay, you can feel restored, all the extras being pulled away. Now you have that ability to create something at the center of your being, which is a shift. Take one more breath and step down. 2 feet at the top of your mat. Catch your hips with your hands. Lift your right knee up, hip height, standing single leg raise. So stay right there with your knee. If you're feeling spicy, straighten your leg. But keep your hands on your hips. Good. Hips level. So for a lot of you, your pelvis went like this as soon as your leg went up. Keep your pubic bone pointing down and the top of your head pressing straight up. Good. Open your leg out to the right. Turn your head, look off to the left. With an exhale, settle your right hip point down, level with your left. And from your pelvis, even here, lift both sides of your spine up and out of the bowl of your pelvis. Take a breath in and come back to center. Kick your right leg forward, reach high, airplane pose, send it back. Now check at your pelvis. 2 hips facing towards the floor, maybe not perfectly, that's okay. Then check your spine. Is the front of your spine pulling forward? Is the back of your spine pulling forward and both sides of your spine pulling forward? Hold the pit of your belly up to create that support and the length. Take a breath in, hands to heart center. Keep your spine as one piece and open to half moon. Nice. Bottom hand to a block. Your hand could even just hover over the floor or at your heart center. Take 2 more breaths, big breaths, Roy. Roy and everyone, take 1 more breath in, and then 2 feet to the floor and fold. Bend your knees, fold it all the way down, let everything go, breath in. Let everything go, breath out. And then press down through your feet, roll up. Standing leg raise on the left side. Hands to your hips. So feel how easy it is to hike a hip, to let your tail kind of drop onto you. Just the defaults that happen. And there's nothing wrong with them. This is a wisdom that your body's created over time. But it throws you off your center. And so create it as a practice. Your pelvis square and level. Your spine growing evenly up and out of your pelvis. Take a breath, and then open your leg to the side. Keep your pelvis, keep your spine. Feel what it takes to hold your backbone in place. Take 3 more breaths. 2 more. 1 more. Come back to center. Keep your spine right here. Kick your leg forward, reach up. Airplane pose, kick back. Good. So for me, I can't totally square my hips. It compromises my SI joint. So your hips may not square all the way down. That's okay. Go as close as you can. And then from your pelvis to your crown, open your whole spine up. The front, the sides, and the back. And once you've got that, take a breath in, keep it, your whole spine like this, and open to half moon. The tendency will be to collapse down. And if you do it, so what? Begin again, recreate. Turn your toes towards the front a little bit. Yes. Now bend your knee. That's going to help your hips adjust. Good. Beautiful. Now, wherever you're at, take 2 breaths. I know, it's like a whole thing for your legs. There's a whole different level of strength you start tapping into and vitality you start tapping into. Take 1 more breath in, and then 2 feet to the floor and fold. Fold it all the way down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Good. From the top of your mat where you're folded, step your right foot to the Lost my mic for a second, Marianne. You're going to step your right foot to the back of your mat, drop your back knee down. Perfect. So if you need a block or a towel, or if you need to like roll your mat under your knee for padding, do that. And then walk your hands up onto your front thigh, just like Damien's doing up at the front. Perfect. Toes untucked. Press your back foot down into the floor. So just do that one thing. You'll start to feel like something happening here. Now, with that in place, square your hips. So if, and I see some of you doing this, you have gone so far forward that the bowl of your pelvis is pouring out forward, lift your pelvis back up to where the bowl is level. Okay, once you've got that, press your front foot down and pull your front foot towards the back of your mat. So that's going to square. So now you've got what you should feel like a really solid square pelvis. Does everyone feel that? Pretty kind of sure? Cool. You can stay right there with your hand on your thigh. This is great. With your hand on your thigh, lift the sides of your body up, press your sternum up, and bring your chin in towards the center of your throat. So you're pressing to lift up the whole front line of your body. If you want to add on, keep that. Bend your right knee, catch your right foot with your right hand, and kick your foot into your hand. Nothing changes about your spine or your pelvis. So you resist the kick by lifting your heart forward and up. And breathe. So in my body, this puts me right into my core strength. My core sets on fire. Breathe a lot. Good. Now 2 more breaths. Damien, keep lifting your chest forward and up. It doesn't have to be straight up, but forward and up. Good. Take 1 more breath in, and then step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out with your down dog. Good. And now step your right foot forward. Drop your back knee down here. Walk your hands up to your front thigh. Neutralize your pelvis. Press your back toenails down. Press your front foot down and hug your front heel towards the back of your mat. So now that you've got that anchored, press your hands into your front thigh and lift up. The temptation is to just push straight back. Lift up, and through lifting up, open up and back. And then stay there or bend your back knee, catch your foot and press. Take 3 more breaths. Really good. If you start to wobble, press down through your feet more and hug into your pelvis more. Take 1 more breath in, heart very high, and then hands to the floor, downward dog, press back. Take a full breath in and open your mouth, let it go. Good. Take 2 more breaths like that and just like unload whatever you have to unload. 1 more breath. Clear it. Now look at your hands, step or float up, feet to your hands, lift halfway. Fold all the way down. You can use a strap for dancer pose. If you are, grab it, come up to stand, and then dancer or standing bow on the right side. Pause at the beginning. So you'll strap your ankle. You can say Tara's got that, or you just catch your foot the way Roy has. But keep your knees together and your left arm straight up. Pause right here. We're going to come into this together. Neutral pelvis to start. Now lift the pit of your belly in and up to lift your back ribs up off. That's at the back of your pelvis. Keep that lift. Kick your right shin back. Keep your left arm straight up. So it's going to be like, Suzanne, I'm standing right in front of you. You're not going to be able to tip forward. So bring your chest back up. Suzanne and everyone, your chest stays upright. It's just that kick back. Stay right there. Breathe. A sigh can help you settle. Now take a breath. Keep the kick back. Now tip your chest forward. 5, 4, 3. Keep kicking your shin back towards the back of the room. 2 and 1. 2 feet to the floor. Oh. Hands to your hips. Get a breath in. Blow all the air out. And we got one more on the other side. Bend your left knee. Catch your left ankle or strap it and pause upright. So you can see in my body, my default is my back closes and my front pushes out. So if that's you, and for most of us, that's kind of the setup, pull the pit of your belly up to lift your low back up and open. Now all you do, keep your chest forward, is kick. Keep lifting up and kicking back. Don't tip. So you're resisting. Hold your center. Hold your center against the kick of your shin. When you can't go any further, now take your center with you. Chest forward, chin back. 5, 4. Notice your foundation will get rocky, so you take size. 3, 2. Kick and reach. And 1. Step down. Hands to your hips. Take a breath. Clear it out. Tree pose. At the top of your mat, right foot to your left inner thigh. Press your palms together at center. From your extremities, hug into your center line. And then from your center, press down through your standing heel and lift up. So that can be through your arms. It can be through the top of your head. Good. Relax your shoulders. You won't pull them down, but relax them wide. Take 2 more breaths. Even up through your neck, long. Good. 1 more breath in, reach up, step down and change sides. Left foot to your right thigh. From your skin to your muscles to your bone, hug into your spine. And from your spine and your pelvis, press down, root deep, and from the floor, lift up through your pelvis to the crown. Good. Keep pressing your outer shin into your foot. So you're gathering in here. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath, lift up. Good. 2 feet to the floor at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, long spine, low push-up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands, triangle pose. So once you set your feet up, it's perfect. Stand all the way up. So bring your torso upright as you do this. Go long. Bring your hands to your hips. So just like Warrior 2, your hips aren't going to perfectly face the side. That's fine. Okay, so wherever they face is great. Take a breath in. On the exhale, sink your front hip crease down and back. So as you tip, both sides of your body stay as long as possible. When you cannot go any further, drop your hand. So wherever your hand is, take a look. That's where you want to be. So you might need a block. You might need to go on your shin. Take your top arm up towards the ceiling. And now breathe. Turn your front toes forward. Soften your front knee. Good. Draw your front inner knee forward. That's it. Towards the front of the room. And continue to deepen your right hip crease back. Just like that. Now you don't have to lean your chest up, but stretch your chest forward. Yes. 2 more breaths. Chest towards the front of the room. Take 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Press your feet down. And then stand all the way up. 10 toes face the left long side of your mat. Catch your hips with your hands. Take a breath in. Lift up all parts of your spine. And on the exhale, as you fold with a long spine. So get as much from your hip creases as you can. At the bottom, drop your head down. Good. Keep your hands on your hips. Keep your hands on your hips. Yeah. Bend your knees enough here and play with how can you get your hip points to move closer to the top of your thighs. Try bending your knees. Try playing with pressure through your feet. I find putting more pressure towards my big toes helps to lift my sitting bones up and back, hip points down and forward. And as you relax your head down, watch for that even release, the front of your body, the back, and the sides. Take a breath in, blow all the air out, then press down through your feet, come back up to stand, keep your hands on your hips, turn forward, reverse namaste, front facing forward fold. So you'll shorten, keep your hands on your hips for this, to square. Hips square, hips neutral. This one I find is tricky to keep neutral hips. Then take your breath, and as you tip, your pelvis moves. So your spine stays with your pelvis as your pelvis goes down. The moment your pelvis is done, your spine is done. Drop your hands down. So that could be blocks. It could be spider tip fingers. You might have your hand on your front shin. You might be okay balancing your hands on your hips. Drive your front big toe down, and then drive your front sitting bone, your right sitting bone back. Take 2 more breaths. You're probably going to start to feel into the back of your right hamstring, maybe your right glute. Take 1 more breath in. On the exhale, drop both hands. Keep your left hand down, right hand to your right shoulder tip. And on the exhale, with a long spine, rotate your ribs around your spine to look up. Keep both sides long. Good. Soften your front knee enough that your sitting bones roll back. Keep bending your front knee, Jordan. Yes. So you'll keep rolling back as much as you can. Lengthen both sides to the front. Take a big breath in. Exhale, twist, wrap your ribs around. Hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Oh, upward facing, downward dog if you want a vinyasa. Left foot steps forward, triangle pose. Set your feet, come all the way up, hands to your hips at the top. Good. Open your feet up nice and wide. Take your breath in. Wherever your pelvis lands is perfect, and then tip from there. Go until you cannot go anymore. So that front hip crease goes back. And then drop your bottom hand. So a lot of us will find you need kind of like a high block, maybe a medium block. Most of you will find your chest is tipped down. That's okay. Keep your chest pointing where it's pointing, but stretch your chest towards the front of the room. Yes. Continue to sink your right hip crease back without force. So soften here and soften back here. Good. Straighten your bottom arm and send your chest forward. So straighten your bottom arm. Yeah. Everyone straighten your bottom arm, straighten your top arm up towards the ceiling, and then stretch just your chest forward to the front of the room. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for the out. Press down through your feet, stand up. 10 toes face the right long side of your mat. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Lift your chest up high. And on the exhale with a long spine, hinge forward. When you hit the bottom or your bottom, take your hands off your butt towards the wall behind you. Okay, so you can interlace your fingers. If that's tight, you can use like a towel or a strap. Grab this and go out 6 inches. Go wider with your grip. Yes. Now pull on that towel. Feel how that will wrap your shoulders back a little bit. Yep. And then just breathe right there. So you can use a towel. You can interlace your fingers. Maybe you've got that. get you a towel here. Yeah. This just makes it so much more enjoyable. If you are suffering at all, use a towel. I can be like that, like, no, I'm not gonna take this second to grab the towel. That's okay. So grab, if you've got the towel strap, pull it now. Yes. Straighten your wrists. With straight wrists, pull on the towel or the strap. With bind, straighten your wrists. Some of you, your wrists are pushing out. Hug your wrists in and pull against your bind. Keep your wrists straight. Take one more breath in, and on the exhale, drop your bind, drop the towel, come all the way up to stand, turn forward, reverse namaste, front facing forward fold. Y'all are going to feel so good, so rinsed. Oh, I'm so envious of you all right now. Square it up, hands to your hips, lift and open, and then fold over your front thigh. So the area to get curious here about is the back of your front thigh. So as you start to go, eventually your hamstring's going to stop your pelvis from moving and your spine will start to round. Bend your front knee enough, that your hamstring can go on slack a little bit so that you can lift your sitting bone up, yes, and back. There it is. Take 2 more breaths right there. 1 more breath in. Now drop your hands. Keep your legs and pelvis as they are. Right hand to the floor or block. Left hand to your left shoulder top. Take a breath in. Get long. And now on the exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, get long. And exhale, twist. 2 more breaths. Get long. Exhale, twist. Hug your left rib in towards center. Last big breath. Exhale, twist, ring. And then 2 hands to the floor, downward facing dog, take it back. 1 breath in, blow all the air out, then slide out to high plank. High plank. Good, tighten up, strong spine. Chin into your throat, press the back of your head up towards the ceiling. So from your head to your tail, you've got 1 long line. Good, Angie, chin in, head up. Yes. Now press your heels back. Press your head forward. Keep all that strong length. Take a big breath in and slowly lower down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. At the bottom, keep your hands where they're at. Locust pose. Press your hands down and back. Stretch your toes up and back. So even as you're starting to come into a back bend, have the feeling, the exact same feeling you've been working at every pose, where you are as long on the front as you are on the sides, as you are on the back. Take a big breath in, get long, and lower it all the way down to the floor. Get a breath in, blow all the air out, step back up, locust pose, hands planted beside your lower ribs, and on the inhale, peel up. Now chin in towards the center of your throat. Lengthen the back of your neck. Good. Go the other way. Chin towards your throat. Yeah. So all back here gets long. And now lengthen the back, your lower back. So how long can you get through the back side of your body? Take 1 more breath in and lower it all the way down. Really good. Windshield wipe your legs. You can even wag your tail a little side to side. And then bow pose. Bend your knees. Reach back, catch the top of your ankles, gather your knees in towards hip width. And with the inhale, kick back. If as you kick and come up, your low back closes down, keep the kick, but lean your chest forward. Make your chest heavier. Now 2 more breaths right there. Stay in the strength of your legs. 1 more breath in. And lower it all the way down to the floor. Wag your tail, wag your legs. Sometimes, this doesn't do a lot for my body. It just kind of feels good to wiggle. I don't know, just to be like, it's not so serious. And then second bow. Like what we're doing can feel intense, and it's important, but it doesn't have to be serious. Gather in, grab on, and then kick back. Strong kick, shins to the back of the room. And then lean your upper back forward through your heart out to the front of the room. You keep melting your upper back forward. Good. Nikki, kick more and let this part melt. Melt. Yes. Now take one more breath right there and lower all the way down. Windshield wiper, wag your tail. Good. Plant your hands beside your lowest ribs. Inhale, peel up, upward facing dog. Spine long, neck long, crown high. Breathe in, downward facing dog, press back. Take a big inhale. Completely exhale. Drop to your knees. We're going to do a variation of camel. So as you come up onto your knees, it will look similar to what we did for dancer pose. You'll step your right foot forward. You'll bend your right knee. We'll start like this. Let's start in this position. So front knee at 90, hips are square, hands to your hips, you're here. Cool. Press your back toenails down to make your back thigh firm. Once you've done that, press your front foot down and hug your front thigh back. Now hands to your hips, you can stay right here. So always know you can stay here. And if you're staying here, lift up, wrap your shoulders back, and take your chest up and forward. So you can be right there. Other option is that when you go to bend your back knee, both hands go back this time. So you catch with both hands, kick into your hands, and stretch your chest up and forward. Good. Chin in towards the center of your throat. Lift the base of your skull, the back of your throat, and then press your chest up and forward. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog, press back. Take a breath. Clear it out. And we'll do it on the other side. Drop to your knees. So now it's your left foot forward, right knee down. Start with sitting your foundation up. Press your back toes down. Press your front heel down and drag it back. And you'll bring your foot forward like 2 more, 3 more inches. So your knee and your heel of the front are stacked on top of each other. Now once you've got that, you could lift up, shoulders back, chest up. Or bend your back knee, reach both hands back, catch your right foot, and kick your shin towards the back of the room. So you should have to resist yourself a little bit. Good. Kick your right shin back. Lift your chest forward and up. Now 2 more breaths. Can you relax inside the resistance? 1 more breath in, chest high, and then release. 2 hands to the top of your mat, downward facing dog, press back. Breath in, breath out. Look to your hands. You can step, float, or just drop your knees, cross your shins, lie onto your back, and set up for bridge pose. Bend your knees, plant your feet, hip width distance apart or wider. And then as you press your feet down, lift your hips up. Awesome breathing. So you're here, you've created this shape, and now feel for your center. Your center in this instance being your spine. Can you feel that your upper back is up and inside the center of your torso? Your mid back is up and in the center of your torso. Your lower back is up and in to the center of your torso. And then from your shin to your chest, you are long. So all the joints of your spine are totally opened up. And then you can stay right here or plant your hands for wheel and press all the way up. Could be to the top of your head, could be up bent arms, could be straight arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your chin, come all the way down. Get a breath in, blow it out, bridge your wheel, set up, and come up. Take 5 breaths. And in a pose where your thoughts, I know mine get really, really loud, can you tune into your spine as a way of disrupting the noise? Take a breath and lower it all the way down. Yeah, you can windshield up your legs here if that feels good. We're going to do 3 more. Bridge your wheel, set it up, and come up. A pose to practice. Focusing on your spine and staying long through your spine, even in the presence of noise. 2 more breaths. Take 1 more breath in. Tuck your chin, come all the way down. Breath in, breath out, set it up, and come up. 5, 4, good. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down. Breath in, breath out. Here's the last one. Come on up. Disrupt the noise. Come into the space of creating your spine as new and vital and open and spacious. 2 more breaths. 1 more full breath in and come all the way down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Press the soles of your feet together. Press. Rest a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly, and set your eyes to a point. Keep your eyes open and set to a point. And even as you look out here, in the space out here where life is happening and other people are happening, can you look out here and at the same time feel your heart pounding? Can you look out here and can you feel your breath moving? Take 1 more. Take a big exhale as you exhale. And then hold your knees in towards the center of your chest. Dead bug pose. So your spine will change shapes as we go through different poses. But you as the yogi at the center of all of it, feel that what your work is essentially the same in every pose. In every pose, how can you have the longest spine that you can? So as you're in a totally different shape than wheel, feel how can you get as long as possible from your tail to your crown. Yeah, and I can see like Tara lifted her head up, she set her chin in a little bit, and now the back of her neck is longer. How can you get long through the sides of your body? Some of you will find that you're curled up so much that your sides have closed down. So you might have to uncurl a little bit. How can you stay long through the front of your spine? Same pose, but you have that feeling of being spacious around your spine. Take a breath in, blow it out. Now bring your knees back together, stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Stretch your arms down the mat. You can sit on your hands if your low back needs additional support. If your low back feels strong today, keep your hands out from your butt. Now pause and check your spine. So front, side, back, is everything long and free? If your low back feels like it's rounding, bend your knees more. So bend your knees enough that you've got that long spine. Then take a breath in, and on the exhale, lower your right foot to hover. Pause. So check that as you lower your leg, do your hips shift? Does your spine go off to the side? Do you crunch up a little bit? Organize your leg and your pose that you are staying shoulder to shoulder, rib to rib, hip to hip, long, equal, and strong. And take a breath in and switch your legs. Check it on this side. Really go there. Check your hips. Are both hips level? Are both ribs level? Are both shoulders level? Is your head still on the floor? Take a breath in and switch sides. Take a breath in, switch sides. Take a breath in, switch sides. Keep going, 30 seconds. If you can go faster and keep the box of your torso stable, go faster. If going faster means you start losing your center and rocking, slow down. 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Both legs up to the sky. Take a breath in. Lower your legs a third of the way down. Stay and breathe. So assess here. If some part of your spine is kicking or becoming unstable, bend your knees more. Take a breath in. If you can, lower your legs a little bit more. So if you're already at your edge, stay at your edge and breathe right there. If you can, take a breath in, lower a little bit more. Right there. 5, 4, front ribs in and down. 3, really good, everyone. 2, and 1, legs up to the ceiling. Oh, hug your knees in. You can rock a little side to side. Yeah, I know. Who needs big, heavy weights? I'm telling you. I've been doing this for like 9 years. I used to lift really heavy weights, y'all. I used to be like 450 pounds squatting. This is more. I've gotten way more out of this stuff than that. Okay, anyway, grab a block. Actually, you don't need a block. Just use your 2 hands. Bend your knees. Bring your hands flat to the top of your knees so you're here. Now set up your spine. So ribs to the floor, both sides of your pelvis to the floor, front long, side long, back long. Organize your torso. Now press your palms into your thighs and press your thighs back into your palms. Keep the stability at your center. Yeah. And then you don't have to go that hard. So if things start gripping toward, go a little bit easier, right? So you do that. Take a breath in. On the exhale, stretch your right leg forward. Your hand will stay there, but it won't go with your leg. Take a breath in, and then come back both knees to center. Take a breath in, send your left leg forward. Your hand will just kind of stay there waiting for your leg to come back. Take a breath in, and then bring your knees back to center. Do that for 30 seconds. See if you can feel that the bones of your spine don't move, but that your muscles lengthen as your leg goes out, and then pull your leg back in again. Good. 10 more seconds. So you're trying not to side bend, back bend, or even twist for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really good. Hug your knees to your chest. Rock and roll forward and back. 1, 2, 3. And on the last one, boat pose. Boat. What'd you say? More easefulness. And that's the thing with this style of yoga. Like, you kind of don't get the ease handed to you. You have to create it. And that's what makes it powerful. So how do you create it? Even as your body's on fire and things get challenging, how do you create your center? So you're breathing really good. Take 2 more big breaths. Take 1 more breath in. Cross your shins, plant your hands, downward facing dog, take it back. Half pigeon on the right side. Half pigeon. Good. Bring your right knee up towards your right wrist. Good. Right here, go a little bit wider with your knee. Yeah, like that. Now, you could put a block underneath, and it just kind of gives you something to rest on. Yep. Does that feel okay? Okay, perfect. Right knee up towards your right wrist. If that feels really tight, take your knee to the right more. If it feels like not much is happening, bring your knee towards parallel with the side of your mat a little bit more. So your upper thigh is parallel to the side. And if you have a lot of space between your hip and the floor, it's okay as long as it feels okay. If it doesn't feel okay, stick a block underneath your butt. And if you don't have one, wave at me and I will get you one. Relax your face. Relax your shoulders. Drop your tongue off the top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth. Relax your lips. Take one more breath. And then press back, downward facing dog, half pigeon on the other side. For the longest time, this was the most challenging part of the practice for me because it felt like I wasn't doing anything. Just kind of like I'm just sitting here kind of doing nothing. Even when it was sensational, for me, there was this story like I'm not doing anything. And I became aware of and over time learned that part of the growth process, part of creating something new, whatever that is, requires moments of not doing anything. And so even if you're there thinking like, I'm good with it, I'm good with not doing anything, check your jaw. Is your jaw doing something or is it totally relaxed? Is your tongue totally relaxed? Are your eyes, your eyelids totally relaxed? Is the space between your eyebrows totally relaxed? Is your scalp totally relaxed? Your shoulders, are they totally relaxed? Your hands, are they totally relaxed? So we can think like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. I'm okay with it. And then the body tells a different story. If you are white knuckling it, get curious. And take 5 more breaths. And then after your 5th breath, swing your right leg forward, come into double pigeon, right shin on top, left shin on the bottom. Stack your top ankle over your top thigh. So what that means is you have this bone, it's called your malleolus, the thing that sticks out. See if you can get that past your thigh so it's not digging into the meat of your thigh. So see if you can do that. If that doesn't quite work, it's okay. You'll work with what you got. Then once you've got your feet set up, and Judy has a great example of using a block for this. So if that wrap feels too tight, put a block out in front and your ankle on that block. That's great. Now press your sitting bones down and lift all the way up through your spine. Soften your front ribs in towards center. Soften your lower back forward towards your belly and your upper back forward towards your heart. So feel like you're balanced. Pelvis, ribs over pelvis, shoulders over ribs, head over shoulders. And then you can stay there or begin to hinge forward. If as you go to hinge, your pelvis isn't moving, stay right where you're at. Take a breath in, blow it out, and then sit back, switch the cross of your legs, double pigeon on the other side. So see if you can wrap your legs, sit tall, and then maybe fold, but without compromising your spine. Maybe that means you don't fold. Maybe it means you actually lean back instead of folding forward. Trust the process and where you are along that process. Good. And then Keegan, soften your front ribs in a little bit. So front ribs in towards the pole. Yeah. So you keep them there, but feel how your head has to actually pull back a bit more. There it is. Press down through your seat. Lift up through your spine. Yeah. And now take 2 more breaths right there. Good. Big rib moving breaths. Beautiful. And then sit all the way up. Stretch your right leg long. Bring your left foot to your right inner thigh. Setting up for a seated single leg extension. Bend your right knee enough that your right sitting bone is on the floor. And then lift your arms up and pause. So just like we learned, your arms might not go all the way straight up. Take them forward enough that you have a tall spine. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, hinge forward. Hip point to thigh, belly to thigh, rib to thigh. When you're done, drop your hands down. And then once you're there, lengthen from your tail to your crown. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in. With the exhale, melt all the way down. Let your back round for a moment. And then come all the way up. Switch sides. Left foot forward, right foot in. Sitting bone down. Spine high. Lift up, take a breath in. And then exhale, fold hip point, belly, rib, then drop your hands. You can catch your feet or just have your hands at either side of your front foot. With each inhale, lengthen your sitting bone back more. And with each exhale, see if you can drop in a little bit more. Take a breath in. Release all the way down. Sit all the way up. Both legs out in front. Sitting bones down. Bend your knees if you need to. Reach up. And fold over your front thighs. 5 breaths. Last 2 breaths to lengthen from your tail to your crown. Get as long through your spine as you can. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, melt all the way down. And then come all the way up. Reverse table. Plant your hands. Plant your feet. Lift your hips up. Chin in towards your throat. If it feels okay, let your head drop back. So those are your 2 options. Now 3 big breaths. Press your hands down and your upper back up through your chest. Good. Wring your shoulders out. Big breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Sit all the way down, fish pose. Legs straight. You can stick a block in between your shoulder blades and your upper back. The position I love is to set it up so like the lip of the block catches the base of my skull. So I get that support where the block kind of holds my neck long rather than just my head kind of falling back behind the block. Yeah, you may even feel like you get a little traction on it. Angela, go a little bit high. Yeah, that's actually probably a little too high. Try that. There you go. Does it have your head? You can kind of arrange so the block holds the back of your neck long. The block eases your upper back up through your chest. If you're using the block with each exhale, can you melt your shoulders around other side of the block? So even try like here. And can you just let your shoulders go? Exhale by exhale. Can you let your shoulders go down and melt down the sides of the block? Take 1 more breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. If you're using a block, reach up, catch your head. Support your head as you roll to the right. If not, tuck your chin. If you don't have a block, tuck your chin and lie all the way down on the floor. Set up for an inversion. So shoulder stand, headstand, you can take that from the back of your mat. Handstand, you can take that from the front of your mat. Even here, feel for your spine. So your spine is not likely to be straight anymore. It's not going to be neutral. Your spine is going to have a bit of a round to it. But even as the bones of your spine round, can you feel the space on the front, the back, and the two sides of your spine as open as possible? If you're in shoulder stand, take your feet towards the floor behind you for plow and keep your spine long. The temptation will be for your belly to fold, like your chest and your ribs to fold in and almost like hinge closed. See if you can press your upper arms down and stretch your pubic bone up to keep both sides of your spine long. And then from plow, bend your knees around your ears. Deaf yogi, your spine now rounds. And even as your spine rounds, can you carve your belly back towards your spine? So even in that rounded shape, there's space on all sides of your spine. And then keeping your belly carved back, release your hands. Slowly, everyone roll down onto your back, one bone at a time. And at the bottom, hug your knees to your chest. Drop your knees to the right, to your arms, and look off to the left. And then come back to center. Gather your knees up, drop them the other way. To your arms, look off the other way. You can even give yourself a little self-assist here. Hands on your top hip, it's the right hip, and guide your right hip away from you towards the front of the room. And then gather your knees back up to center. Hug your nose into your knees into your nose. Give yourself a big squeeze, a big hug. And then release your legs, Shavasana. Yes. Close your eyes or set your eyes to a single spot. And take your arms out wide, take your feet out wide enough that your spine can be as long and wide and supported by the floor as possible. Take a deep breath in. And open your mouth, let that go. And then one more time, big breath in. Fill up, fill up, fill up. Open your mouth, let it go. Gently hug your knees up into your chest. And roll to a side. And then press up to a seated position. And if you need a block or a towel or something to create a strong seat, bring that in now. Like you want to take that second to give yourself what you need to create a strong central spine even here. And then bring your palms together over the center of your heart. Press your thumbs in towards the center of your heart, your shoulders pin back, and then pull your whole spine into the center of your body. Press your seat down and lift the top of your head up tall. So feel into your backbone. Feel into having that strong center to your body. Take a deep breath in and clear that space out. And as we close our practice together, a moment to acknowledge yourself for all the work and all the ease that you brought in. And a wish that this sense of center and whatever wisdom you've gleaned out of this practice around that carries with you for the rest of the week. And we'll close with 3 ohms. Take a breath in. Lift your thumb knuckles to the center of your forehead. Take a big breath in. Blow it out through your mouth. And together we say, Namaste. Namaste. Great work this morning, everybody. Really, really good. Make sure as you head off into the rest of the day, make sure you hydrate. Make sure you eat something that feels good, that nourishes you, and then come back tomorrow so we can recenter and build your spine again. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. You're welcome. You're welcome.